some reason.
Oh, your boy, Vince from Hell Pichel, or how
Yeah,
do I say his last name? Is it Pichel? Pichel?
Michelle.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's on this card. Do you think he's gonna beat Jim Miller? This is another stay away for me, just because like Jim Miller seems to surprise me every time, but Vince looks. They both
I
look
mean,
great against Roosevelt Roberts.
yeah, I mean, the Jim Miller that fought Roosevelt Roberts looked amazing. The Jim Miller that lost 2 years ago to Diego Sanchez,
Great point.
so it's like you're like, well, what Jim Miller are we talking about? I know Vince has been staying in shape. I know that he's like super focused. He's been knocked out once in his career, and that was by uh, Rusam Kabalov. Like threw him on his head like it was like a Greco-Roman throw. But he's taken almost no damage in his career. He started fighting late. He started at like 23, 24, walking to MMA Jam. So he's a guy, while he's like, I think late 30s, he has got no mileage on him. That being said, Jim Miller is probably better on the ground. He's better in like areas, but one guy's super fresh and the other guy's experienced. So, I mean, but Vince lost about like 20 something pounds last week. Like he was up, but it came off really easy. But he's probably going to walk into this fight around 190.
How is his jiu-jitsu?
Um, it's good. It's really good. It's really good.
And defensive jiu-jitsu is more what I think he is gonna have to utilize in this one. That's like the important.
I mean, he's been tapped out once in his career by Gregor Gillespie, who was like a 3-time Division I national champion. And that he took him down like in the second round. But that guy is just one of those guys.
Yeah.
Before the Kevin Lee fight, people were talking about Gillespie beating Khabib.
Yep.
So I think that Vince has heavy, heavy hands. I mean, I've seen him knock people. He knocked out the dude from Australia going backwards on like a fucking check hook, like while walking backwards. So I think he could. I know he could hurt Jim Miller, but Jim Miller is a vet. He's one of those cagey vets with nothing to lose. Vince has not been taking this pandemic very well. He hates Newsom. He hates he all he wants to do is fight. He hates the fact that the gyms are closing. I don't know. I mean, I would never bet against Vince, and I think Vince is going to win. But that's the X factor in this whole thing is the shutdown, the pandemic. I feel like some guys, even with comics, like some comics are, writing new material and staying healthy and staying off drugs, and other comics like are homeless or they move back in with their grandparents. So and I think fighting is the same way.
No, for sure. And you just made me look like, because I loved it. I picked him in that Roosevelt fight, so I'm on him. Like, I think I've lost money betting against Jim Miller before, so that's what makes me uneasy. But like, I'm looking at the knockout; it's plus 340 for Vince. I'm gonna have to do some more research to see when Jim Miller.
He's a 340 underground under.
No, he's he's a slight favorite, just straight pick him. But for knockout, it's plus 340.
Oh yeah, I think Vince gonna knock him out in the first round.
Really?
To be honest, I do. I think that Vince is gonna knock him out in the first round. I think that he's gonna come in at 35 pounds heavier.
Holy!
I mean, he's gonna come in huge. And Jim Miller, I think Vince is gonna knock him out quick.
I just want to see real quick when Jim Miller's been knocked out.
I'll probably never, based on my last assessment.
But well, that's saying something. I won't find it. My internet's going slow all of a sudden. Decision. He got knocked out by Dan Hooker. Really no shame in that. Donald Cerrone, head kick and punch. And that looks about it in his career. So really no shame in either of those. It was a young Donald Cerrone too. So, it could happen. He's getting older.
Dan Hooker knocked out Gilbert Burns.
Yeah.
About that.
Definitely. So, well, thanks for the insight. That's firsthand. What's your relationship with Vince? I know you had him on your show, but you gave a very funny explanation of a little bit about him
Oh,
too.
Vince is just a guy that like came to my show with his girlfriend like 7 8 years ago from Twitter, and we just like immediately became friends. He was working at AAA. Since I've known Vince, he's been working at AAA. He's been a cable guy. He's been back to college. Now he's like a full time Twitch streamer slash fighter. I mean, he's had a crazy life. He got arrested 21 times before the age of 23, all for like fighting. He grew up again in the same town as War Machine in like Simi Valley. He's been red pilled, as they say. He's a big
Yeah.
Republican, uh, but he's a great guy. He's a guy that like he's a great friend, and he's really funny. But I mean, there have been times that I'm like, "Yo, Vince, take that tweet down." Like I've had to call him, like
I gotta
I'll be like,
follow him
"Yo,"
then.
I'm like Vince, like, "Hey man, let's take out this thing because I don't want you to get in trouble." Yeah, like he's I try to look out. I had that did that with like Ally Quinta. There are guys that I've called up in the UFC and be like, "Yo man, I know you're drunk right now, but this is not gonna go like." And they usually listen. Like if a fucking comedian's calling them up, telling them to put shit down, it's like,
Right.
come on.